Now, folks, more lies and smears from Biden-Harris, and that's the subject of the riff. You know, out of respect for the office of the president, and I have served two of them, it gives me no pleasure to make this case. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have consistently lied more than any administration I can think of. In recent years, I've tried to describe this as cognitive dissonance or untruths, but the plain reality is they keep lying. Just yesterday, of course, President Biden and his press secretary tried to lie their way out of the only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. The press office tried to fudge it by, quote, sticking an apostrophe in the quote after the word supporters to suggest that he was only referring to a comedian, rather than the 80 million something people who voted for Donald Trump. But you can't get away with that. No lies in the information age. Even the official White House stenographer immediately objected about the phony editing of the official transcript that will at some point make its way into the National Archive. The supervisor of stenographers called it a breach of protocol and spoliation of transcript integrity between the stenography and press offices. Wow. Well, I'd say it's basically a spoliation of Mr. Biden's integrity. There he goes again. The other big lie yesterday, of course, came from billionaire Kamala surrogate Mark Cuban, saying, "You never see Trump around strong, intelligent women, ever." It's a stupid lie from Cuban. But so far, neither Biden nor Harris have disagreed with him, as far as I know. You know who does disagree with him? Sarah Sanders, who's going to be here in a minute, Susie Wiles, Kellyanne Conway, Kayleigh McEnany, Brooke Rollins, Mercy Schlapp, Linda McMahon, Elise Stefanik, Joni Ernst, Judith Pond Kudlow, and a whole endless list of strong and intelligent women working with Mr. Trump. It would be way too long for this riff. But let's move on to today's dismal jobs report, the worst in 3 years, where private sector jobs fell 102,000. The past 2 months revised down 112,000. Remember the prior evaporation of 818,000 jobs. The only real increases came from government, 91,000. There are 13 million unemployed or underemployed, and over the past 12 months, native-born workers have lost nearly 800,000 jobs, while foreign workers have gained over 1 million. While manufacturing jobs continue to downturn, the ISM Manufacturing Index remains in recession. This all brings to mind another lie, that 16 million jobs were created during the Biden-Harris administration. No, they weren't. Kamala has repeated this 100 times, but it's not true. Taking out the COVID bounce-back jobs, they created 6.7 million, all right? Not 16 million. It's about the same as what Mr. Trump had pre-COVID. Related lie, they created 800,000 manufacturing jobs. But take out the bounce-back effect, it's only 93,000 manufacturing. By the way, way less than Trump's 414,000 jobs. In the information age, you can't lie about these numbers. Everybody has access to the same government statistics. And that brings to mind the lie that when Biden-Harris took over in 2021, they inherited a depression-like economy. Simply untrue. Trump gave them a V-shaped COVID recovery. In the third quarter of 2020, the economy rebounded by 35%, followed by 4.5% in Q4, 5.5% in 2021. Then Biden-Harris issued another lie that they inherited a major inflation rate. Completely untrue. Trump handed them over a 1.4% inflation rate, which they ran up to 9% and has averaged about 6% annually over their whole term. Over and over, Biden-Harris argued that they were reducing the federal budget deficit. They made this case again and again, but another lie, because budget deficits are running $2 trillion, as far as the eye can see, according to the CBO baseline. Again, why lie? Ordinary folks can dial up their computers and get the real numbers, no problem. Then Biden-Harris lied about billionaires only paying an 8% tax rate. But they based this on a law to tax unrealized capital gains that was never passed by Congress. Besides, the economy. Kamala keeps saying Trump would ban abortion nationwide. This is a lie. Trump has rejected this idea at every opportunity, saying it is best handled by the states, as per the recent Supreme Court decision. Then Kamala argued that Trump would restrict access to birth control and IVF. Also, complete lie. Trump has said it on every campaign stop. Then there's the trash talk, desperation lies from Kamala. Trump is a fascist, he's Hitler, he's a racist, he was a Russian agent, he's bigoted, sexist, on and on and on. All this utter nonsense. You know, former Trump budget director and chief of staff Mick Mulvaney has written that all the time he spent with Trump, he never heard anything about Hitler. And I'll tell you, folks, I went to hundreds of meetings in the Oval and elsewhere, never heard anything about Hitler. The whole threat to democracy business that Kamala continues to push is an old, threadbare argument that has no standing. Remember, it was the Biden-Harris Justice Department that weaponized lawfare against Mr. Trump and tried to throw him in jail for 750 years. It's all failed on appeal. Kamala's trash talking and mudslinging to avoid talking about her failed kitchen table issues of higher prices, falling real wages, the affordability crisis for homes, cars, and everyday necessities, and the massive border crisis and the crime wave that followed it, and the world on fire in Afghanistan, Ukraine, and the Middle East. Kamala broke it. Mr. Trump intends to fix it. But you know, the gusher of lies from President Biden and Vice President Harris shows an enormous character defect that from day one has undermined their credibility and the trust of voters. All right, there are 4 days left till the election, and that's my riff.